Hello everyone, welcome to North and South. It is of course the Union Army Saturday event, and the fine fellows from the Union Army are on their way out. 1st Michigan, let's see who else is on. There's the General Ulysses Grant, and we have a nice line on their way out as well. Who's this fellow? There's Mert Crichton from Connecticut, and there of course is the Colonel, the commanding officer, Mr. OMG Potatoes. Who are these fine fellows? Oh, of course, look at that. 32nd Massachusetts moving out in a fine double line with a few tail-enders, Minty at the back. And you can see all these guys starting to move out. Who's colouring the colours? No, who's carrying the colours even? There's Morris Johnson from the 3rd US. Look at these colours being carried with pride. And in the middle here, there's Matthew Ferguson, Lieutenant Colonel Spears, and a random person on the horse. Brigadier General Rockefeller, who we saw rock out the shotgun earlier. Much admin abuse was occurred. So, anyway, let's see. Oh. Here's the fine fellows from Maine. Moving out, Major Bale, of course. And more of the 32nd Massachusetts. So, let's tell you about the teams. Obviously, on the Union side, we have the 20th Maine, 32nd Massachusetts, the 1st Connecticut. You can see Michigan's in there from the 17th, the 3rd US. So many fine fellows. And on the Confederate side, we have the 1st New Jersey Brigade, the 7th New Jersey, and the 9th New Jersey, as well as the 72nd Pennsylvania. And, of course, those fine members of the Rhode Island Regiment. And the 72nd Sharpshooters as well. 2nd Connecticut are in there. So you can see plenty, and a really good turnout from the 1st New Jersey Brigade. So, let's see what's going on. Get an idea of what is going on the battlefield, so to speak. So, we can see a little bit of exchanging fire going over here on the right. And you can see now 2 members of the Pennsylvania have been taken down by fine shooting from Massachusetts regiments. So you can see here there's Paradox, who I was doing some fine drumming with earlier from the Rogan Sharpshooters. And there's Matty as well. And Recruit Henry. Always good to see new recruits for all of these regiments. And Lieutenant Colonel Spears with a nice headshot onto Volunteer Snapshot. And you can see, look at this. This is fine earthworks placed down here for the Confederate State Army from the 9th New Jersey. And you can see them working together with their friends from 2nd Connecticut. And they are looking to do a very nasty outflanking position onto the Union Army if they can actually manage it. Now, there are a couple of large yellow arrows in the sky. Now, I'm not sure. That probably represents a major capture point as far as the enemy is concerned. So, let's have a look and see who is defending this big yellow arrow. Now, 1st Michigan, and you can see this is a place of horse parking. So, they managed to get in there quickly. There are cannons in there, but they're not really... It's more of a cannon storage area. So there's not really much they can do with it. But these guys from the 1st Michigan, there's Andrew King, continuing to defend it against the push coming in from the Confederate State Army. As he pauses to yawn, my apologies. Anyway, let's find out what's going on over on the 2nd yellow arrow. Now, over here on the left side of the Union Army, or sorry, the Confederate Army, I should say. Ah, look at this in the river. Hiding their numbers, the 3rd New Jersey Cavalry, and there, of course, the fine Mr. Swissy. Look at that face, isn't it lovely? And they're moving out, ready to move, or getting ready to move, I should say. There we go, making a run down here, and you can see another point of importance here under Big Yellow Arrow. Hello, Big Yellow Arrow. And now you can see the cavalry rushing out to make an attack around the flank, and this could be a problem for the commanding officers of the Union forces. You can see there Brigadier General Horace Porter and Staff Lieutenant Birch and Staff Lieutenant Bumblebunts. Bumblebunts? Yes, that's the one. And of course, the Moose of War himself, Mr. Charles Moose. So, and you can see now, looks like Jur Hunter's managed to kill a couple of teammates from his team with a little bit of artillery goodness. Now, as we're flying over, trying to watch where the Confederate State Cavalry is going to, let's just check to make sure we can see what's going on. We've got these guys who are defending it. And there we go. You can see these guys in from the 1st New Jersey. And they are... There we go. So Objective 1 has been destroyed. So this is good to see. And you can see here this huge building being defended by multiple members. So you can Josh the Brit from the 72nd Pennsylvania. And there's Infantry Volunteer Cannonodal from the 72nd Pennsylvania. So these guys are defending. And you've obviously got the 20th Michigan. Ah, of course, the legendary Diddles himself. Although lack of fifing is occurring with Mr. Diddles today. So we have to wait for said fifing. Maybe he's moot. Maybe he's lost his fife. His ability to fife. No, that can't be right. There we go. Oh, god damn it. So you can see now there's Tuvington from the 32nd Massachusetts. And these guys continue to fire back against this building, but they don't have a lot of artillery support. So they do have this area where they can jump across the river. And they do have this stony bridge over here on the left-hand side. So there's still plenty of opportunities for cavalry to sniff around and give them lots of problems. Mercenary Crichton and Mercenary Sloth from the 1st Connecticut. And so these guys look to be trying to hold the left flank of the Union Army as we move down the centre here and take a sniff around past this Hampstead, homestead even, Hampstead, what the hell am I talking about? This homestead here, and there's Ulysses Grant continuing to check through his binocs, as now you can see a slight pullback here is Obo Durf from the 32nd, and these guys are pulling back. As you can see, they've lost a few of their numbers around the defensive area on their right flank. So the Union right flank, it's difficult because of see necessarily what's going on, but I think it's fair to say that the Confederates are pushing up on the Union's right flank. Now there's Charles Moose, obviously, as you can see, the fine Mr. Moose in all his moosey glory. And we shall see if we can find out what's going on. There we go. Now, what we need to do is we need to find... Oh, look, a fine campfire. Look at that. And fish laid out as well. Oh, dear. John Firebonds manages to catch a bullet from Thor. And now this Confederate army is going to be in trouble. There's Chumley Warner, musician for the 72nd Pennsylvania. And there we go. You can see their Podman being taken down. So let's see if we can find Pandora, because we want to find out this cannon position, which is where they are at the moment. So let's just see, because the cannons are doing a suitable amount of damage as I completely lose control of the English language. Here we go. There's not really much to say about that, is there? Just, wow. Sergeant Lawford. That is an extremely large hump. Who wouldn't be glad to have such a large hump halfway through a battle? Anyway, Corporal Ajax. And he's still going. He's still going. Legolas, completely nuts. Oh, so silly. So silly. Here is Private Pandora, who's claimed a few. And look at that. 5 Major Diddles with a kill with a pistol. So let's see if we can find out what's going on, as Diddles will be getting in there and diddlifying the enemy. Let's see if we can find our fine Mr. Diddles. So there's the Tiger getting into the melee. There's Destiny as well, as Destiny gets taken down by John Price's pistol. Let's see. Pistol of John Price claiming more victims. Ow! Ouch! That was brutal from John Price there, shooting a Confederate State Army man very, very close range. And there we go, going in for a slice. And there we go, the Union have won that battle as they've managed to take the objectives. They have achieved strategic victory, ladies and gentlemen, as the important objectives have been destroyed. And so you can see the battles continue. The murdering continues. And then we shall have a side swap. Uh-oh, explosive boxes, ladies and gentlemen. Let's end with a bang. And so we return, where the sides have now been changed around. And those who were on Confederate states are now Union. Those who are Union are now Confederate states. And we shall just have to wait and see what occurs. As we are currently looking at the Union spawn. Fine fellows moving out. Let's see who these are. There, of course, 72nd Sharpshooters Recruit T. Dunker. What a wonderful name. And there's Baymes 2712 from the Rogan Sharpshooters. Now, let's have a look. Corporal Executor from the 9th. Edelweiss from the 2nd Connecticut. Deffer from the 7th New Jersey. So, let's get an idea of what the Union forces are going to do. So you've got those three objectives in total. And you can see that the cavalry is starting to make a run in towards those buildings as quickly as they can. They want to try and get those advantageous positions. Now, bear in mind that all those advantageous positions are across the river and in the territory, I suppose you could say, of the Confederate State Army. So that's why the Union will have to capture that bridge, capture that particular barn area, and then over there on the other side of the river. So, the Confederate State, you can see, spreading out to try and cover all of these areas as best they can. They've got forces moving down towards the building on the right here. And there it is, the 20th May. And you can see it looks like the cavalry have already got into a bit of a stand-up fight against some of the enemy. And it looks like the Confederate State cavalry and the officers, there's Ulysses S. Grant, in the process of trying to defend himself. And there's Mikhail also. Now look over here, because it looks like you've now got the Confederate State forces moving down to try and deal with the Union Army, who may be pushing over on the right flank. Now you can see, oh, correction, there is a fourth location over here on the far right flank. Now it could be that's the location that the Union cavalry has already made a run for, and that's looking like, yeah, that's looking like they're looking to try and take that as quickly as they possibly can, give them the advantage of having that location. And you can see here that the cavalry has done a fine decimation job on the enemy, and this cannon storage area will probably go over to the Union forces. So, Confederate State. But no. The Confederate State reinforcements return. Unfortunately, Beast gets taken down by Private Hansel, as now you can see Union forces moving in to the right-hand side to support what was the cavalry push that took down the enemy cavalry and the forces in that position. Now, as a result of that, the Confederate Army has to move away from the right-hand side. So that right-hand flank now is going to be pushed back at by these fine fellows from the Confederate State Army. Look at them streaming across the field. 32nd Massachusetts. Looking fantastic. There's Preston 18. You see those guys making a fantastic run in towards this building. Don't they look fabulous? Look at these guys. But they are actually pausing to do a little bit of suppressive fire. And now they're running back the other way. Nope, it looks like they're going to try and actually move around. Maybe see if they can take a different run at it, so to speak. We'll have to wait and see. Or they might decide to consider that to be a lost cause and move down. As there you can see, Lieutenant Colonel Jeppen from the Rhode Islanders is finished off. Now, let's see if we can figure out what's going on around the area, because we have this river crossing here. There's James Hall, Staff Lieutenant. And you can see Unai being finished off, and Fredo also being shot by fine, accurate fire from the 20th Maine. Now, I'm guessing the 20th Maine will probably be these guys, but if you look, let's see, who are these fellows? Oh, they're the 32nd Massachusetts. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Objective 1 has been destroyed. So, say that's probably a good chance there. This is objective 1. And you can see cannonballs come absolutely barreling into this building. And objective 2 also has been destroyed very quickly as well here by the Union forces. As more fire coming in from the Hobbit and the Chosen, or the Chosen, all going into here. And there's Zango moving up as well. And numerous sappers. Oh, does Zango make it through? He has. He's going to get the bayonet out. He will. But he's coming under fire. Gets one man. Goes for a second. And going in for a third. Will the officer manage to kill him? Zango going bananas here with the bayonet. And unfortunately falling. So, and Knuckles managing to get stabbed at the same time. And Bale going with a fine team kill onto T-Baggers. So, that was a trial of the new scenario. So, hopefully you're going to see more things like that. Oh dear, Ulysses S. Grant has lost his hoss. You're going to see things like that. Oh, and he's lost his head. So we shall wait and see what happens. And now they shall have a round or two of normal line battle on this map. So, this should be fun. Look at there's Lugullus, builder of mounds, large amounts of mounds. Huge humping, huge humps going on. And then it looks like we'll move to a new map as well. So, here we go, there's Swissy. With his fine walrus moustache, or walrus-like moustache. So, there we go. We'll be right back. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we return as the battle begins at the rail station. Swissy and his New Jersey Brigade moving out under horse-borne movement. William Sherman, of course, the Moose, and Donny with a quick murder onto Swedish mercenaries. So a good start for the Rhode Islanders by the lovely, wonderful and voluptuous Donny. So, there's Bumblebonts moving out as well with Staff Lieutenant Birch. And Fredo from the 72nd Pennsylvania. You can see these guys all moving out very quickly. 9th New Jersey, looking to try and get a hold on the central point if they can. Now, obviously, pathways into the town. You've got those pathways left side. Plenty of pathways with plenty of cover. And Pina Colada saying this map has too much water and he can't swim. Now, let's see. As you can see, the Confederate State Army now moving out, getting into a defensive position. You can see them, the Union Army starting to try and hold down these Confederates into that position. But it looks like the large majority of the numbers, let's have a look. There's 72nd, who's this fine fifer? There's Chumley Warner, currently non-musicking fife, as Bumblebots get taken down very quickly from the 72nd. And here, look at this fine volley of fire coming in from the 72nd Pennsylvania and the 2nd Connecticut under the command of Colonel Sassy J, with Staff Lieutenant James Hall at the back. And you can see Sergeant Arctic continuing. Now, let's see. Who are these fellows? Ah, look at this. Holder of the colours. Fife Major Diddles himself. All hail the Diddles. Now, And Bumblebonts wants a shout out to his Mars bar. So, no doubt soon to be consumed after this battle. As we approve of Mars bars, definitely. So, let's check to see what's going on. As you have Rockefeller sniffing around there. You've got the Union forces moving up as best they can. The 9th New Jersey Brigade, you can see, moving up here on the right flank, trying to get into a position so they can get across there. But the problem they're going to have is you've got a lot of the Confederate State Army, I think, in here defending. Let's see. Matthew Ferguson, 17th Michigan. Let's just check. The 1st Michigan are in there. Probably going to see the 17th Michigan in there as well. So, you can see them shooting back as Knuckles has managed to kill one of his teammates. Whoops-a-daisy, Knuckles. And Nanotox also looking to defend that particular position. They are going to be looking to move up to that point if they can. And you can see the Confederate State Army marking out their location with their flag. Proud goings on here. There we go, he's handed off the flag. And Diddle's doing his duty. Fine diddly duty there by the Diddles. And Private Mech and the 32nd Massachusetts now moving out over onto the far right flank. And this is what they're going to be going for. They're going to be working up with Sergeant John Doe and pushing back against the Union forces. Now, let's see over here. Now, these look like Confederates, so these look like the 32nd Massachusetts now moving up and getting a little bit more up close and personal. This looks like Horace Porter, or Porter, I should say. And there you can see Paradox in there, along with other members of the Rogan Sharpshooters. Now, if these Confederate State forces are going up against the Rogan Sharpshooters, this is going to be a tough battle for them. These guys are very good shot indeed. And there's a volunteer Schwanko. As you can see, ouch! He's not volunteering anymore. He's now volunteer corpse. But it looks like the Union Army came in behind these guys, surprised them. And now you can see Arctic fighting against the likes of volunteer Connor from the 72nd. And he's got a teammate coming up to help him, but Arctic managing to survive. They've got to be careful for that team killing action. As Arctic doing his best to survive and finally taken down, along with a fine team kill into volunteer Granok. Whoops-a-daisy. Always happens as the Union Army in the form of the 7th New Jersey continues to try and push back at the Confederate State. Now, bear in mind that the Confederate States seem to be doing a good job. They have actually moved up from this first building, so I think it's fair to say that on the right flank, the Confederate State Army has the advantage. Now, bear in mind this is on the right flank of the Confederate States. On the side of the Union, here's Anubis moving up, and you can now see Union forces moving up to try and outflank these guys from the Confederate States who are down by the train platforms, and this could be a problem for them. As you can see, the fine fire coming in. As you can see also Adelon taking down Staff Captain Hadley, sorry, my apologies. And so it looks like the cavalry are getting involved on the battlefield, but we can't locate them at this current moment. Let's see, where are they? Ah, here we go. This looks like it, as the cavalry on the hill is under serious pressure, as down goes James Hall from, Recruit Bates, I should say, also being killed as well. Down goes one of the horses. Who is that? That's Yoshi trying to defend himself. Sliced in the back. Whoops-a-daisy. As Barnabas C. Ham. I quite approve of the name, sir, Mr. Ham. And there is William Jones. And it looks like the artillery section of the Union forces has been well and truly finished off. As you can see, cannons, howitzers could have caused some serious problems. So, very good there as far as the Confederate State Army is concerned. They made a foray out there as Volunteer Knuckles gets killed by Babylon. Now, let's see what's going on here. And there is Lieutenant Colonel Jeffen and Colonel OMG Potatoes. And the Rhode Islanders, there of course young Donnie and Gerschlit. And Donny again. Zango. Hottle. Not carrying the flag today is Hottle. Stalrog. And Monchilo. So Bellyfort's probably already dead. So you can see OMG Potato staying with the Rhode Islanders. And looking to maybe do some damage to the Confederate State Army. Now they are going to try and move down. And move into an outflanking position, probably onto these guys. But this is the problem that they're going to have. From the 32nd Massachusetts, these guys are now going to start pushing back and holding this flank. Purple Cow included. Over here on the other side, there's Gummy Wolf. And they are going to be defending that flank and the back of their teammates, who are continuing to push pretty heavily this right flank. And it's not, there looks like a bit of a stalemate. Looks like they haven't managed to get very far. They are losing their numbers. As you can see, they're all being peeled off with unfortunate losses. So let's see. Executor gets killed, ironically enough. Look at this, in the Union cabin. Brutal losses here. And that's going to be a problem for them. However, the Confederate state is now starting to move up. Look at this. Moving closer and further into the buildings. The Confederate State Army continues to move. Look at that. An ambush. Ladies and gentlemen, a fine ambush by the Confederate State Army. Now you can see Murdoch Crawford moving up onto the right-hand flank. And there you can see the Union Army running for it as best they can. The Rogan sharpshooters trying to dodge. Jordan V also looking to try and dodge. As you can see, other members of them after them. And this could be a problem. And Swissy... it's not a problem anymore. As two of them get taken down in the field. And there we go. We can see the final man there, Jordan V, taken down. Now, let's have a look. Because there are 16 members of the Union and 38 of the Confederate State. So, let's find out where the Union Army are. As Gertschlitt gets taken down here, other members of the Union Army. It's possible Starrog may be the only survivor. Yep, it's not looking good for Starrog. He's got to be careful. Oh, fine shot by Starrog into George Hamilton. Now he goes in for the bayonet fun. Potential officer aiming there, but hey-ho. Never mind. Down goes Starrog. Down also goes Hottle as well. And, fine goings on there. As you can see, the defence of the Union. There's Bellyfort. He's not dead, surprisingly. And also Zango defending himself. In they come. Bellyfort looking to defend himself. Stabby goodness from Zango and Bellyfort as they're trying to defend themselves against this attack. Belly taking a little bit of a stab and a slice there. Belly taking another slice as well. Zango in the corner. A caged animal. Another kill here by Bellyfort. And Bellyfort finally goes down. Zango finally murdered. And a fine standing there by Bellyfort and Zango from the Rhode Islanders. And there remains 3 members of the Union Army. So, let's see if we can see who they are. Moga Wolf. Good stuff. So, let's see if we can find Moga or Muga. Aha! The Muga has been found from the artillery. And it looks like it's Mikhail attacking him with a cotton bud. And pistol. Oh! Wow. What a turnaround that was. And so we return. Hello, hello, after a map change, and the Union Army is moving out from their camp. Very camp under the circumstances. So, oh my goodness. So many trees. Great deals of trees. Plenty of cover for the fine fellows in both armies. Plenty of corn. And, of course, fences for the covering behind. Now, let's just see as we look over to a fine barn and homestead in the middle. There we go. You can see another homestead there. This road right down the centre, these crossroads. And you can see forces moving in. Look at that. Yes, I remember this map. Fine barn defence area. Good stuff indeed. As cannonballs coming in already, look at that. Bouncing already over the hills, over the open fields. Let's see if we can find out what's going on. There is William Sherman. Behind him, of course, his faithful adjutant, the Moose of War, Mr. Charles Moose. Now let's see if we can find out what's going on with those cannons. Where are they? Aha! There's the report of the cannons and the howitzers. So, let's just see. And Thor saying he likes cows, which is great. So, Major Bale with the cannon, no doubt. Aiming at Bellyfort, and Double A with the howitzer. And Antonanzaz, whose name I can now pronounce, doing his fine engineering work. Waiting for the mortar or the howitzer to be fired. Or possibly not. So. Oh dear, Donny murdering Swedish mercenary. Whoops-a-daisy. And you can see T-Bone. There goes the howitzer. The round into the air. And we're waiting to see what the outcome will be. So. There we go, you can see it hitting just the other side of the cornfields or maize fields. Now, as expected, we have forces on the right, the 20th Maine, moving up this road on the right hand side towards the crossroads. Look at this, isn't this beautiful? And here you can see more Confederate state forces getting involved. The 17th Michigan firing back at their enemies, as look at that, mortars and shrapnel bouncing everywhere. As Noonan is professing his love for me, which is wonderful, thank you. And here the Rogan sharpshooters are holding back the Confederate state forces on the left flank to the best of their ability. They are now being supported by the 72nd Pennsylvania. Fine fellows, look at all these guys. They're now moving up. Now they could be moving into a position. Yep, look at that. And now here, of course, the Rhode Islanders. This time being commanded by the Lieutenant Colonel of the regiment, Jeppen. No Barbaneth today. Obviously he is currently suffering from cannonball poisoning. And there's Bellyfort over on the right side. Donny, of course, Jeppen, Zango. There's Hottle. And there's Stowrock on the far side. So, no! No, the Diddles is no more. Damn it, we've lost the Diddles. Oh dear, poor Diddles. Ow! As Thor gets taken down. As you can see, plenty of fire coming in. And these are the murderers who have done it. As you can see, the 2nd Connecticut are firing back on this right flank against the members of the Confederate State Army. And they've got them in a pretty nasty position now, as Colonel Spears gets taken down. And here is Private Wink Wink, moving up to support his teammates. So, following the arrangements of the smoke that's being generated, you can see Union forces. There's Mr. Potatoes, of course, the fine Mr. Potatoes. And also George Galloway. And these fine fellows all pushing back. Look at this, fine defence coming in. Let's just see what's going on. As Private Griffin is moving up. And now you can see these guys moving up to try and counter this push here. From the Union forces. So they're the 7th New Jersey Brigade. Fine fellows as Hottle gets taken down, I should say. There is, of course, the fine Mr. Banana. Not looking remotely yellow today. And Fedwood and Banapple over here. As Rockefeller gets taken down. And so the trouble is if the Union forces want to move up, they're going to have to move through an open field. That gives the Confederate state defending quite the advantage because they're behind cover. They can hide their numbers in this cornfield. As Bellyfort gets shot by Finn. And more. Oh dear. OMG Potatoes being murdered as well. And this doesn't look good over on the right hand side. You can see the colours still hanging around this area. Yep, that's exactly why. There's Donny, down he goes. Yeah, Donny goes down quickly. What can we say? As von Volsum here from the 3rd US. And now you can see the melee in the middle here. Fine slicing and dicing going on. The Confederate State Army trying to take down as many of the people as they can. You can see here the Union Army pulling back slightly. Major General William Sherman. Here are the 72nd. Oh, Sherman taken out. Shot in the back as fire is brought down by Horace Porter and the other members. Look at this. Fine fusillade of fire. And they're charging in. In go the 72nd Pennsylvania. Major Gecko following in as well. And the stabbing and slicing and bayoneting fun begins in the cornfield. You can see these guys continuing to fight back. There's Sergeant Mikhail. And you can see also mortars landing, or howitzers landing in the area as well. As you can see, plenty of stabbing goodness going in over on this right flank. And now you can see the 3rd US regrouping and ready to move. Possibly with the exception of Horace Johnson, who just murdered himself horribly by shooting himself in the testicles. We may have bayoneted himself, I don't know, it's difficult to tell. But either way, let's have a look at our numbers. 44 and 66. So Confederate State Army has the advantage right now when it comes to sheer numbers. But she'll have to wait and see what happens. So we now move out. Aha, look at this. See, this is what we were talking about. This is the problem that they were going to have. They'd have to run through open field, but it looks like it may have turned out well for these fine fellows of the 32nd Massachusetts. Now they can move up with Private Mayhem up there at the front. And down here, Minty. And Pooty Man, 45. So these guys can now start to push quite significantly back against the enemy. Significant numbers, as Abraham Puddle is waiting. Significant numbers. Now they could decide to run up this left flank using this particular fence for cover so that they can get into an outflanking position onto the Union forces, like Recruit Fredwood here, who appears to be slightly away from his rifle, as Nanotox also defending, and that's exactly what they've decided to do. Here they come, ladies and gentlemen. Here come the 32nd Massachusetts. Okay, maybe not Payne. Sorry, Payne, you won't be making it. But now they're moving up and they're getting onto that outflanking position. Exactly the kind of thing we expected to see from the Confederate State Army. 32nd Massachusetts moving up. Nanotox taking down one of them. And now these guys are going to try... Well, some of them are going to try and hold the forces of the 32nd Massachusetts back from their push on the right flank of the Union Army. Now, as a result of that, we also have some additional forces here who are in the process of moving to the centre. The 7th New Jersey moving towards the cornfield and looking to maybe shore up that left flank. This is part of the reason why the 20th Maine are moving out. And here is Recruit Bates from the Rogan Sharpshooters trying to run for it. And now it looks like... yeah, Union forces have arrived, and now they can go in and try and take out as many of them as possible. But this is going to be a tricky situation for them because it's hard to see where those numbers are coming from. As in here you can see the Michigans moving up as well. They're going to literally just jump out onto the Union Army forces like the Tiger here. And this is going to be a knotty situation. He doesn't have time to reload and has to fight for his life along with other members of the Union forces in this cornfield. Look at this. Absolutely brutal goings on, and the flag being left in there by Paradox. Let's see. Ulysses S. Grant watching over the battle. You can see in the centre here the Tiger, right, literally fighting for his life as Jefferson Sherman gets taken down. Oh, fine stab by the Tiger, but unfortunately was not enough. And he is taken down by Matthew Ferguson's sword. Who's this man over here? It's Private Alex. Oh, fine slice into Matthew Smith. Until, unfortunately, he got, he got hammed. Well and truly by Barnabas C. Ham. So, 26-36. So the Union are by not any means out of it. However, the Confederate State Army does have the numerical advantage at the moment. Now, Matthew Ferguson and team moving up. Oh, Faceman. Aha, look at this. Coltrane. And these fine fellows defending. Pushing back against the Union Army. Ow, Matthew Ferguson gets finished off. Another man standing there. You can also see I. Jordan V. Rogan Sharpshooters looking to defend this barn. We've seen defences in this barn before by the members of the 72nd. And here from the 3rd New Jersey looking to defend this position. Sergeant Finn stuck in the hay. Hey. Oh dear. That didn't go well. As here is... oh, Ryle. Ryle 1459 trying to dodge those bullets coming in from the enemy. Seaham has been sliced by Yoshi. And you can see here, he doesn't have the bayonet attached. So he's going to be fighting back with the rifle barrel. So we could be talking about a bit of butt action going on here, ladies and gentlemen. I'll have to wait and see. As we're notching Ryle being taken down. Pandora also finished off. As Ulysses S. Grant looking to hold that point. Who's this? NutriKid from the 3rd New Jersey. And also Private Cy in there as well. These guys are pretty much all that's remaining of the Union Army. In comes Staff Lieutenant Birch. Dismounting. Oh, his horse has just been shot. And he wasn't paying attention to what was going on his right. Oh, dear me. So Paradox, the opportunistic git there he was. As indeed he should have been. As Rhodey moving in as well. Everybody charging into the barn. And waiting for Cy, NutriKid and Yoshi to decide what to do. Let's see if we can find them. Here's Cy. Here's Yoshi. Correction, there was Psy, taken down by Finn. And here is NutriKid hiding in this building. And here come the Confederate State Army. Led by Tuvington. Oh, horse stab. Fine stab into NutriKid. And Tuvington, can he go the distance? Take out the final member. Yoshi gets taken down by Livington. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That is the end. GG's to everyone. I hope you've enjoyed. And don't forget, guys, check out all of these guys, all of these regiments on the Flying Squirrel forums. No doubt they will be recruiting. Always looking for more people to join these wonderful battles. We'll see you next time. Take care.